Okay, thank you. Thank you, Tengku, for saying yes for this interview. So we will go directly into the first questions.
Please.
What inspired you to establish MIMOS back in the 1980s? And can you share some of the early challenges you faced in setting up Malaysia's first microelectronic R&D institute?
Okay, let's start with the inspiration. Actually, it started from the time I was a student. I studied electrical engineering, first degree. When I went into control systems for a master's degree and a PhD. And in both cases, in master's and PhD, I was using computers. For master's degree, I was using analog computer. And for PhD, I was using digital computer. Mind you, it was in the 1970s, very early. So my PhD was computer-aided design of control systems. And I was using, at that time, an advanced computer that didn't need to use punch cards. I was already online in 1971. So that actually showed me the power of computers. That's one strand of my development. The other development is what I tried to indicate in my speech just now. When I started studying in Manchester to become an engineer, I had visions of becoming a rich person. In those days, becoming wealthy was an objective because we were not such a rich country. But in my undergraduate years, I decided that was not an objective I wanted to pursue. So I didn't plan to become rich. I gave that up. I thought that was not a good objective. What was the replacement? I thought that I could be better as a knowledgeable person. Yeah. So I even thought during undergraduate years that I could become knowledgeable by taking higher degrees. And I saw many friends coming from around the world. They were doing masters, PhDs, and also even postdocs. If they can do it, I thought, why shouldn't I? Yeah. So that was my plan. So becoming a knowledge person, a knowledgeable person, took many years to, I would say, develop, to nurture. But I went step by step. When I finished studies, I came back and I joined University of Malaya as a lecturer. And then I began to develop ideas about how people could become more knowledgeable. And one of the ideas was through the use of computers. Right? And I actually traveled to the US, I think in 1981, on behalf of the University of Malaya to study computer science programs in North America, in US. I spent 3 weeks. I visited all the major universities, including MIT, Carnegie Mellon, in California, so many universities. And what I saw was very interesting. I saw the power of microelectronics that was being developed in 1981 and even before. So I could see already that microelectronics was going to play a very important role in building the future systems. And that connected with my idea of using computers to promote knowledge. Yeah. As it turned out, of course, I was also visiting the Penang factories. I started visiting the Penang semiconductor factories from the early 70s, from the 74 onwards. My first visit was not in Penang, actually was in Motorola, which is just close to UM. Yeah. I visited Motorola and saw what they were doing. And having seen other companies in Penang, Intel, AMD, National Semiconductor, Fujitsu, I began to form an opinion that Malaysia could also become a major player in this area. So that was the initial inspiration. Yeah. So I worked on it from about 1980 onwards. So I developed ideas, brought friends together from the university community, other colleagues who were working in similar areas, and we thought about creating something of national, I would say, importance, to bring together all these people and develop something for the country. So that began about 1980.
Okay, that was an interesting story.
Yeah.
We might have later to, to hear more from you later.
Sure, please.
Let's go directly to the second question. What does MTP 2025 mean to you personally as the founder of MIMOS? And how do you see MIMOS current innovations are shaping Malaysia futures?
I left MIMOS actually 20 years ago.
Yeah,
Uh,
I know.
20, 20, 20, 2005.
2000?
2005.
2005.
Yeah, which
20
means
years
that actually this is the 20th anniversary of our departure from MIMOS. So in 20 years, I've been, of course, been in touch. I have met MIMOS, of course, people many times. I visited MIMOS, and of course, I've been following what MIMOS has been doing, but never commented, of course. I just wanted to see what MIMOS has been doing, and of course, without my participation or intervention, I was completely out of the system. But by choice, I wanted MIMOS to develop its own path without having to consider the past. The future, not considering the past. Okay. So I see that MIMOS has developed a lot of new talent. That's very important. A lot of new infrastructure and a lot of new ideas. And these things are being translated into new areas of work that we are witnessing today. So I'm actually quite impressed. Now the problem is having all this potential. If you don't turn the potential into something that works, people see it as, I would say, non-productive work. And this is the real challenge. As we discussed just now with the minister, is how to communicate to the outside world that what MIMOS has developed is actually of great value to the country. If people only understood how to apply them. Now, the problem is the industry out there. There is a gap between the researchers and the industry players. And this gap must be crossed. And if you don't cross the gap, then we cannot start anything meaningful together. Because it is going to be a collaborative effort, partnership. As you see in your title, is partnership. Now, that gap is to do with trust. Trust building is a long-term process. You have to keep talking repeatedly over time until you build enough trust. And of course, you cannot build enough trust overnight, nor can you build a big community of people who can trust you, or you can trust them. So you are looking for a small group of companies or organizations that are ready. Don't be worried about people who are not ready, but find those people who are ready and willing. And these are the people you connect with. So this is what I think the challenge is. So having seen what you have produced in the last 20 years after I left, this is a good time to actually boost up our communication with the outside world so that people will pick up these technologies and shape them for the use of the market, of the users. Because what we produce in the lab is not the same as what the users want. So it will take another process, another step. So this is why we need partnership with people who are in contact with the market.
Yeah. Okay, thank you for spending your time with us.
Right.
That was such a wonderful, we listened to
You,
your
you,
answers.
you didn't ask the question about the challenges. The challenges I face from the time I had the idea. There were many challenges. Yeah.
Okay. You can tell us about the challenges. Please.
Yeah. I will because there is that gap there. Actually, I have to say that I spent 4 years
4 years.
to get the idea accepted from 1980 until 1984. And repeatedly, I produced many papers and showed the papers to many people in the government, especially, of course, also within the university community. But people cannot accept. They saw that that was not Malaysia's priority. It didn't fit the mandate of the organizations.
In the 80s, right?
Yeah,
1980s.
it is, yes. From 1980 onwards, for 4 years. As it happened, a very interesting story. In early 1984, I attended a tea party in my uncle's house. And he happened to be Ministry of Trade in 1984. And my uncle was the late Tengku Azzman Shariffadeen. Yeah. So while he just became Minister of Trade and Industry, while having the tea, he asked me, "You are an engineer, aren't you?" I said, "Yeah, I'm an engineer. Can you tell me what we can do about our electronics industry?" I said, yeah, I've been working on it. I said, there are certain things that I have proposed to the government, but nobody is listening. I told him plainly. Said, why don't you come to the ministry? Huh? Come to the ministry and present something paper that we might be interested to promote. So I went. I prepared something, and he was there, as it turned out. And the KSU was Tan Sri Azizan of Petronas.
Okay.
Yeah. He was actually not in Petronas. He was KSU, Ministry of Trade and Industry. And surprisingly, the parliamentary secretary was Muhyiddin Yassin. Yes, he was a very junior man at the time, 1984. Anyway, they were listening to me. At the end of the discussion, not very long, maybe a couple of hours, they said, we like your idea. Can you put together a paper and we'll get you an appointment with the Prime Minister? So I did. I prepared a paper, and fortunately at that time there was a professor from Sweden who was doing sabbatical leave in University of Malaysia. I was in University of Malaysia. His name was Bud Watson. He's actually American, but he's of ethnically Swedish. He returned to Sweden to teach there. So I asked him to sit with me and prepare, because I wanted an external input. So I put his name even in the paper. Together, we went to see the PM. That happened, I think it was August 1984. Right?
Yes,
So I was expecting a very hard time. I prepared myself, we went there, very quite stressed out and nervous. Actually, surprisingly, Tun Mahathir, Datuk Sri Mahathir at the time, had already gone through the material. Yeah, because he didn't ask too many questions. He said, okay, sit, present. I think I made maybe 10 or 15 minutes presentation, that's all. Yeah. Then he asked the question. He said, how much do you want?
How much do you?
Yeah. Okay. First question. I said, I need 5 million ringgit for the first year. Only first year. I cannot estimate because I do not know how much it will cost. He said, okay, I give you 5 million. That's it. Like. And then he asked the next question. He said, when can you start? That was August 1984. So I said, I'm still teaching. I have to give an exam and mark exam papers. Can I start on January the 1st, 1985? Then he asked another question. Of course, didn't answer. No answer. He said, why so late?
Oh, why so late?
Why so late? This means he wants today. He wants yesterday. Yeah. So I went out. So I was not sure whether everything will come together. Within a couple of days, Treasury guy called me. He said, by the way, we got a note from Datuk Sri Mahathir that he wants 5 million. How can we transfer the money to you? I said, I don't know how. You cannot transfer the money to me. I don't know what to do with it. So that was the Treasury in those days. Very fast. So I said, okay, let me prepare myself. We create an organization, blah, blah, blah. That's it.
So that's how
that happened. So 1st of January 1985, I had a small office in the PM department. Not even a building, a small office. I shared it with small one. I shared it actually with the science advisor, Tan Sri Omar, in one corner. And I worked on that until we got the building in Jalan Kuala Maya. Yeah, the wooden building.
We have a big building in the PM now.
Of course, and this building now, of course, I chose the land. I climb up the hill. Yeah, myself, I climb up the hill.
That was such an inspiring story from you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you
for spending your time with us.
Thank you.
Next time, maybe we can do another interview later.
Sure, of course.
Okay,
Alright.
thank you.
Let-
Thank you.